Hey everybody, this is Sadie Hartman, Mother Horror. I am the co-owner of the horror subscription package Nightworms. Joining me today is Todd Keisling. Hi, Todd.
Hi, Sadie. How you doing?
Good. Todd is actually one of my favorite authors. I don't really make a big secret of it.
Thank you.
He blew my mind last year with the novel Devil's Creek. And if you haven't read Devil's Creek, it's published by Silver Shamrock. It is cult horror. There are some scenes in that book that I'm not one of the books in the freezer type where I have to throw the book across the room or put it in a dumpster until the fear subsides. But there were some moments where I was reading that at night and I gotta just like closed it and put it on the nightstand for later for daytime hours.
That's the appropriate reaction, I think.
Yeah, I think all horror writers are very flattered when that's the result of their reading engagement. So today we have something really special to share with Nightworms and horror fans in general. Todd, tell us about your Monochrome series and how long you've been working on it and how important this journey has been for you.
So about 1 million years ago, or technically about 15 if we're keeping track, I started a book called A Life Transparent. It was only supposed to be a 2,000-word short story about a man who begins to physically disappear and transition into another reality because he lives a boring life. I was just barely out of college when I wrote it, and it turned into a novel. That was my introduction to the indie horror scene. Took a little while for it to find an audience, but it eventually did. It has its diehard fans, and I wrote a sequel in 2012, and then I planned on writing a third and final book in a trilogy, and that never happened. Partially due to real life issues, mental health issues. I got blocked with it. I got frustrated, and I just went on to write other things, which is how Devil's Creek happened, how Ugly Little Things happened, Scanlines, and the rest is history. But around the end of the edits for Devil's Creek, I started thinking about what the last book needed to be and how I could fix the issues. So in late 2019, I started working on the book again, and I finished it August of 2020. And now, September 28th, the third and final Monochrome novel is going to be unleashed upon the world, courtesy of Bloodshot Books.
Wow, that's so exciting.
The entire series, with this book being published, it closes out a 15-year period of my life, creatively, and I can finally sleep at night.
Yeah, that must be a very cathartic feeling to just know that like you've worked so hard to get this out into the world, and then the final chapter of that is going to be released and you can just kind of give it to the fans.
Yeah, it only took about 8 years from start, conception to completion for the last novel, but really it feels so much longer. I mean, I say 15 because that's when I started the first book to the end of the third book, and it wasn't even supposed to be a trilogy. I mean, hell, it wasn't even supposed to be a novel. It was supposed to be a short story, and it just kept growing. And all my later stuff, the Ugly Little Things stories, the Devil's Creek especially, like all that stuff kind of marks an evolution in my creative efforts. None of that stuff would have been possible without the Monochrome books. That was me kind of growing and learning as a writer as I went along, and I had the opportunity last year to revise and expand the first two novels to kind of, fill in some cracks, make, smooth it out, make it look like I knew what I was doing. And, and so now I'm really proud of what it's become. It's this, it's now an entire, arching story. It's not, just a couple of books that are uneven in places. Big thanks to Bloodshot Books and Pete Cale for giving me a platform to do that.
Yeah,
So,
Pete's awesome.
Yeah, so it is a massive relief. It'll be substantially more of a relief once it's published and out in the world. But yeah, now it's just a waiting game until the release date.
Well, so I do have a few questions. Well, one
Sure.
thing I want to tell people watching is that, and I've said this before on social media, but Todd is one of those authors that really impresses me in terms of his own self promotion and the way that he just kind of cohesively puts together a campaign for his books, like your website, your promotional campaigns, everything from book trailers to just the blurbs and the little graphics that go with all of your tweets. Like, it's all super branded and it all looks really professional. And I just think that that's really awesome. So as soon as you gave me a sneak peek of this trailer, I was like, we should just promote this because this is cool that you do this for your books. I mean, I think that readers really engage with that. I don't know how you have seen results on the other end, but I think it's special.
I'm if I actually worked in marketing, I would be keeping track of impressions and all that stuff, but I don't. I just, coming from, from a self-publishing background, I'm used to doing everything myself.
Yeah.
So, it's great having a publisher, having publishers now who take care of a lot of that stuff. But, I look at every book of mine is part of my brand, so I like to be hands-on with some of the marketing because then I can make sure that there's cohesion with that brand and whatever we're promoting. So that's where, it's where you see my logo. That's where you see, that scratched background that carries over into my website. I mean, they're all parts of a whole, I guess, what I'm trying to say.
No, it's totally cool. It's like the Todd Keisling universe, and it's very recognizable, and it's super cool. I like it.
Thank you.
And also, just to say, I know that lots of people are starting to want signed copies instead of just hitting up Amazon or wherever books are sold on opening day. So will you have signed copies of this and the other books as well?
I do have some in my shop. There will be copies of Nonentity, the final book, in my shop as well. Copies may be a little limited, so first come, first serve. But I will also be offering signed book plates. I did that. I started doing that with Devil's Creek, and that seemed to be a big hit, especially with international folks who can't always, pay the ridiculous shipping charges. With book plates, I can just get a flat rate stamp and mail it. It doesn't, so it doesn't. Excuse me. A very important person.
I know, I had to check my phone too just to make sure.
The book plates just make a economical sense for folks. So they're I think I charge $5 for them, and that includes the shipping anywhere in the world.
Yeah, that's awesome. Nightworms are used to book plates too. That's what we've been doing ever since we've been growing and can't really shuffle, hundreds of books around to, from publisher to author back to Nightworms. It's just the books will get damaged. So we've been doing book plates too. But without further ado, it is movie time. Todd shared this with me. I don't remember what we were talking about, but you were like, here, this will make you feel better. And you shared this cool trailer with me. So I'm excited to share it with the world.
I'm excited for people to see it too.
Yeah, grab some popcorn, pop this up here.
It's been 48 hours since everything went to hell. But not for me. I've been on this journey a lot longer than it seems. And I am so tired. I used to be no one, another number, a speck in the population. But that sort of life caught up to me and set me on this journey. Reality is on the verge of collapse, and I am the only one who can stop it. My name is Donovan Campbell, and for now, I am still alive.
Woo! That gives me goosebumps again. Like, okay, first of all, listening to the Bloodshot Books part in the beginning, like hearing it through my headphones, it gave me actual goosebumps. Like I was like, ew, it's kind of creepy. Um, but I love that trailer. Like you
Thank
should,
you.
I mean, I don't know what your schedule looks like. I'm sure you're a very busy person, but if you could teach authors how to make their own book trailers and like charge a fee, you know, and just I will promote the shit out of that because I think they're so exciting.
You know, I showed that to a few close friends, and one of them has already asked me how much I would charge to make a trailer like that.
Yeah.
And it's not something I ever anticipated being asked to do for someone else. So
Yeah.
all I can, say, if you don't mind me plugging my design services,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, I do design work, and if you are interested in a trailer like that for your book, get in touch. My full portfolio is on my website, toddkeisling.com. Yeah, it's toddkeisling.com/design. It's pretty simple. So yeah, contact me through there and let's talk about your project.
Yeah, that's cool because I mean, we're all used to seeing movie trailers and getting super pumped up for upcoming movies and you know, I for me personally is like just getting this like visual stimulation with the rock music and everything. It
Mhm.
like really just makes an impact. So I think it's really cool and I'm sure other people do too.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, okay, great. I mean, before I let you go, just is there anything else you want me to drop in the story notes? Any links or anything to where people can find you on social media?
Yeah, I mean, I already mentioned my website,
Mhm.
toddkeisling.com. You can sign up for my mailing list. I'm also on Patreon, just Todd Keisling, all one word there. Twitter, Todd_Keisling. That's probably where you're going to find me most active. I don't really do Facebook all that much
Yeah,
anymore.
me either.
Uh, you can find me on Instagram as well, Todd Keisling, all one word.
Okay,
So,
great. Yeah,
yeah.
I'll pop those in the notes too. And there was something that I was gonna say right when you said, um, shoot, now it just left my brain, but I was thinking about so embarrassing.
That's
Um,
okay.
oh, your patron. Yeah, so I'm a patron and I get emails from Todd really frequently about like movie nights and you share like all kinds of stuff. So, what were the multiple tiers? Do you have one tier or was it a couple tiers?
So there are multiple tiers, but honestly, pledging even $1 gets you access to everything. I tried Patreon few years ago, and I got overwhelmed with keeping up with the different tiers and who gets this and who gets this and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So there are like 3 different tiers, but it's pay whatever you want. I mean, it's $1, $5, $10. You know, I have some people who are pledging more. The bare minimum is $1, and again, you know, no matter what you pledge, it gets you access to movie nights that we do monthly, game nights that we do once a week, the Discord server. There's already a ton of content, including deleted scenes from Devil's Creek on there. A whole bunch of stuff. The failed NaNoWriMo novel that I started
Yeah.
writing last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a ton of content on there for readers and writers alike. And there's just stuff that's, you know, if you're a horror fan, there's stuff to have fun with too. So I try to, you know, make it worth your time and money. We actually just closed our first pre-order window for the Patreon exclusive chapbook. It's just containing one of my stories, but we're making them by hand. My wife has a Cricut machine, and we're having like a die cut cover to it, cardstock. You know, it's going to look really cool, and I'm excited for people to get it. But I'm hoping to do one of those every quarter.
That's really cool. Hopefully I'll get in on the next one. I didn't see the first one.
It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today and for showing us your trailer. I think that that's going to be like awesome to have all 3 books in a horror fans collection. Definitely run out and get that one in September and complete the trilogy.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me, Sadie, and giving the platform to reveal the trailer to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see you soon. Bye, everybody.